the basic and overriding element. So they're different. Right? Certainly, that's for that reason you can have some people who are religious that are not spiritual. You can have some people that are spiritual, not religious. You can have some philosophies that are not religious. You can have some philosophies that are spiritual. Plato is a philosophical system within a spiritual tradition. That's not a religious tradition, but a spiritual tradition called the Neoplatonic tradition or the Platonic tradition.
Again, could you break down the difference between spiritual and religious?
It comes from religio. The word religion comes from religio. That means to bind together. The nature of that bind or that bond is belief. All right, that means that there is a certain class of things called belief, which when people hold in common, binds them together, and they can recognize the kinship among them. Next, that belief has to say, one way or the other, that belief in itself is sufficient. That nothing else beyond that is required. This is, of course, in Christianity, the Pauline doctrine. Now, the spiritual tradition works on the assumption that whatever beliefs are there, they are only a tool to reach a range of profound experiences. And these profound experiences are higher states of consciousness. Now, why are they higher states of consciousness? They're not really. Consciousness is consciousness. It's just that these other states of mind inhibit the free flow of consciousness in its appropriate object. That's what it does. So therefore, the difference between the two, I think, can be represented in this way. Religions bind people together through belief. Spiritual traditions have some way of developing higher, more profound experiences or states of consciousness. That help?
Okay, and then what about mysticism?
That's here. And that's why the church always has a problem with mystics in the Christian church, Christian community, and other organized religions, because they're going to base what they say on their own inward experiences and states of consciousness rather than on traditional beliefs. So this is the realm of, Plato is Socrates is mystic. That's what he calls himself. And the Phaedo, he calls himself a mystic.
Well, most of us don't have voices that
I wish I could sell one. Yes, that's true. That's very true. As a matter of fact, one of the important things to understand in this whole Platonic game is that very point. That who is Socrates? What is he really? And thank goodness I'm going to talk about that when we get in the Apology, because that's the whole goal of the Apology, to position Socrates in respect to the difference between these two and why he's here and what's the implications of it. That's what he's doing. So, yeah, that's right. Yes, and the point you raised about voices, Socrates did have a voice. He had it from childhood, and the significance of that we will certainly play with. I can touch on it now. There's a difference between being Socratic and being Platonic. You can't choose, you cannot elect to be a Socratic figure. You cannot elect to be a Socratic philosopher. You can elect yourself to be a Platonic philosopher, but not a Socratic. And that's the difference between grace, if you want, and vocation. Because he sees that he has been commanded by God to be a philosopher from his earliest days. And there aren't many applications for local colleges where you can elect to be a major in philosophy, and one of the requirements is not that you feel that, or you have some evidence, or you have some appeal to the fact that God chose you to be a philosopher, right? That's not one of the items you check off. Right? I don't think it is. But for Plato, so you can be a Platonic. You can be Platonic, but you can't be Socratic.
I don't remember. They asked Socrates what made him different than other people. And I can't give his answer exactly, but you probably remember it better than I do. He said other people think they know,
Yeah.
but I know that I don't know something.
Yes, that's a very great quote.
Yeah.
The difference between me and others, he says, is that I know that I do not know, but they do not know that they do not know. And therefore he then changes it to, I know what I do not know. Now that's a big difference between I know what I do not know and I do not know. Yeah, and on that hangs a big discussion. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Thank you.